This is Shannon from Avenger of Blood, and you're watching Poppitt's Corner. Turn it up.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Pop's Corner. We are live at the San Diego Metal Swap Meet 2021.
Yeah.
And I'd like to bring on the wonderful Mr. Moreno. How you doing, man?
Dude, doing great. And we're shaking hands right now. You can't see us, but we just shook hands.
That's right. Dude. How you been?
Good, man. Just ever since I gave up the sticks, I've just been screen printing.
Gave it the sticks to make some prints?
Yeah.
There you go, right?
Are you still jamming though? Once in a
You know, honestly, when I stopped playing, I didn't play for like 3 years, and then I jammed a bunch of covers.
What was that like?
Like, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun, but and then after I was like, man, I don't gotta like take anything, because it wasn't even my drum set. So that was awesome. That made me realize, like, you know what? I'm glad I don't play drums anymore.
Well, did you get any pains in your hands?
I did. I actually had, well, can't see it, but here I had this big like knuckle growing out. I had this big knuckle growing out of the side of my finger. It's gone. It's gone after like 2 years of
nothing.
Much, right? It just kind of went away. But it was making my hands numb to like driving, holding a steering wheel for too long. My hand would go numb. Holding my phone, my hand would go numb. After shows, sometimes my hand would go numb. So it just got to the point where it was kind of just like, what am I gonna do? You know, if my hand just really gets back to the point where I just can't use it, and I have to get surgery, and then how long is that gonna take? And how, I can't do that to the band either. The band's doing so much.
Well, I know this has been well documented on the show, but I'm kind of, I guess what I was asking more so is playing. I mean, even just playing that one kind of covers or whatever, did it have any sort of effect on you in terms of like, man, I want to do this again? Or did you miss it, or did you just
yeah, I think I did miss it, but
not the equipment aspect and carrying. I'm talking about actually playing and whatnot.
No, that's fun. Like after the set, after we did those jams, I was like, damn, that was fun. But at the same time, I guess I did it for so long, and to be honest, I never considered myself a drummer. I kind of got stuck playing drums, so it was kind of good to kind of just move on to something else. And I actually play guitar a little more often now than I do anything.
Is it less stressful on your fingers to do that, or?
Well, I mean, it's less stressful on everything. With drumming, you're using every limb, and then also every limb, but a lot of it is your posture, and we overlook posture. I mean, all the time on you're looking at your phone, you're driving. A lot of that, you're breathing. It's very athletic. I think it's more athletic, especially with extreme metal, constant double kick. It's like it's very athletic.
Using your entire core, right?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. So, I felt good to kind of just take. I do like so to answer your question. I do miss it. I do miss like playing, but at the same time, my health and everything is like it's good to just take a break from that, and not because it gets to the point where even if you enjoy it, if you're not comfortable, it's unenjoyable. You can't even enjoy the thing that you're supposed to be enjoying. So especially when you're on tour and you're bands, you know what it's like. You have to travel and do all these things for literally like 30 minutes of glory. It's like 30 minutes of glory, and then it's like, all right,
23 hours of bullshit.
Exactly.
8 hours of driving.
A lot of stuff. So I don't, there's things I miss, things I don't miss. I do miss, jamming, but at the same time, I guess I've just been so preoccupied that I haven't even it hasn't been an itch that I've needed to scratch.
Well, what have you been preoccupied doing?
Just lately? Screen printing.
So has that taken? I know you've always screen printed for bands, but when that particular issue happened, did you kind of look towards screen printing as like, you know what, I'm going to focus my energy into that instead of trying to dwell on not being able to do what I used to love doing?
Oh, well, definitely not dwelling, because when I departed, it was already almost more than half my life, and the only band I'd ever been in. So I didn't know what to do with my life. I was like, damn, what am I going to do? I didn't go to college. I don't have any degree. I don't have I don't have a resume really. I only had 2 jobs prior to that, and what am I gonna, when am I gonna go to a job and be like, I just toured with this band,
They don't
or
care.
they don't care. Yeah, it's like they don't care. So yeah, and in a lot of ways, I just I looked at, okay, well, what am I gonna do for work? That was the other thing. I was like, what am I gonna do for a job? He had the equipment, I was already doing it for bands, so I just kind of I went full steam into that.
into the screen. Now, what does screen printing give you that's kind of a different love for screen printing than, say, drumming or playing music? Does it give you another?
Doing cool art.
Okay.
Doing cool, because I mean, even with the band, or even just playing music is an art, I guess, in itself. Doing cool art, and then just doing stuff for the bands, local bands, the community, right? I mean, that's gratifying to me when bands get their merch and they're stoked and they're like, dude, this is good quality. This is like, because obviously they want to give their fans, it's a representation of themselves. So I like to do a good job for the bands. I like to provide that service for bands, and that's what's gratifying. That kind of, I get the joy from that, from doing like, I get to do a lot of cool stuff and a lot of cool bands, and it's fun. I've grown to really enjoy it, even though it is a labor of love. I've really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Okay,
I was going to say, I'm sorry, the community too supports what you do because of what you do. I mean, sure, there's other places that can print, but it's like, you know what, Mario does great work. I'd rather refer you over to him, and then that's sort of a payback, from what you've given everybody, and hopefully that's what maybe continues to build a business.
Yeah, and I try to do that too. Try to like give back to the band and then just provide a good service overall. And I've been on the other end. Yeah. I've been on that ordering end where I'm like, dude, they butchered the design,
right?
And I'm just pissed off. It's like the art, and then I feel bad for the artist that drew it too, because it's like they
have to look at it.
Yeah, they got to look at it. I'm like, dude, you just butchered that guy. You guys spent so much time. It's like you got to do justice to the art. That's the way I see it too. Is like doing justice to the art. And
because you have an appreciation.
I have an appreciation for it. And I've actually had artists. It's funny because I actually get artists now that do artwork for bands, and they tell me that they tell the band, I won't print it unless Mario. Wow. I won't draw it unless this dude prints it.
Wow,
interesting.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's
now. How does that work? Does the artist just like look at your previous work and say, you know what? How do they reach out to you? How do they know?
Well, it's from doing similar designs from them.
But how does the artist know who the band's going through to print their merch? Is my
Oh, they don't. That's why they recommend. They're like, the art, but you got to like use this guy. Oh, or unless you're thinking like they already used me or something.
Why? Like, have the artist kind of seen a previous thing that they've done, and then kind of reach out to the band and say who did this?
I see what you mean. Yeah. Exactly. There's been times where the artist told me, this other shop, they printed some of my designs and they like screw it up every time. So that's the joy I get too when people are like, dude, I'm gonna come to you because I know you're gonna just
there's
do
no
a good
headache
job.
with you. There's literally no headache with you.
Yeah.
I've worked with other screen printers and whatnot where it was kind of a pain in the ass to get the stuff on a timely basis and the quality and whatnot. I mean, after 2 or 3 washes, the ink would be gone.
Oh yeah.
Like I think anything that I printed with you with Madras and whatnot, and I think you did. I don't know if you did Poppitt's Corner T-shirts or not, but if we have to get,
I think I did.
I think we did.
I want to say I did do a run at some point. Yeah.
But the quality has always been there. It's not like I can always rely on like. Yeah, you can wash this 50,000 times and the ink will not smear or the ink will not disappear or whatever after 4 washes. So I can only imagine that we get some pride in knowing that's the kind of quality that you provide for people.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely something when I started printing, because I used to have that issue myself where they would wash out when I was doing it, and I hated that. I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that people go to and it washes out, and so I made an emphasis to develop a technique, or just to stick with a technique that's going to provide consistent results and good results. And it's helped. It's helped.
Is all that digital?
No, it's manually.
It's manually
it's
printed.
Like
literally like screens that you're using.
Every color is a screen. Yeah,
which is crazy because I thought everything with technology and stuff was like way more sophisticated because I did that shit in high school.
Oh yeah.
Where I could screen print my own stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if they do it like that anymore, but you do. So.
I do it. Yeah. I mean, when you did it, you probably had to cut it with an
I
with an
did. I had to
X-Acto.
cut-
Yeah. I'm lucky
I
enough
did- I
to
did
not
a
have to do that.
I did a Led Zeppelin album. I forget which one it was. Holding the
4?
Lantern. 4 maybe.
Okay.
Took me forever to do, but when I
Dude.
finally got it done, it was like really rewarding. But if you miss something or whatever,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm thinking like, well, nowadays it's not going to be like that. Nobody uses screens anymore. It's
Yeah.
all digitally done. But
No, I do the screen still.
that's a credit to you.
I mean, it would be awesome to do the digital because it would save my back and my hands, from being there.
Right.
But I would do digital if the quality was there. But it's not quite. It's gotten great over the years, but it's still not 100%
So
there.
let me follow up with that. So because you're doing it manually, if you're doing 3 and 4 color, that's a long process to do shirts, right? Because you have to lay those out. They got to dry out. You got to come back and do another right over the top, right?
No, well, I have a flash unit.
So what does that do? So tell me about that kind of technology. What is that? How is
So-
that different?
So depending on, well, you know what? I've seen different techniques. What you're talking about is like wet, right? Or
yeah.
I've seen guys like mainly in like Taiwan or like India where they have these like setups where they move the screen.
Yes.
So it's like they have the shirt, like all these different shirts, and they move one screen. Mine is on a press, so it spins. So I have 4 boards, and then I have a heating unit at the other end of me. So I spin the shirt, and it goes under that heating unit while I'm printing the other color.
That's awesome.
And then it turns, and then they just get heated.
I was wondering
as they
how that
go.
went. So it's actually drying it while the other.
Yeah. So while one's drying, I'm printing the other one, and then
Okay.
when you have 4, you get that cool off period,
Right.
So then it heats and it's cooling off, and it comes back to me. I move the color screen, and now I put the next color, and then I
Right.
do it. And you can do it wet, you can dry in between. It depends on the print. Sometimes it's better to do wet, like with paintings, because the ink will smash onto the other color, and then you get that. You get that blend it just blends like so wet on wet. Versus when you heat it, and then you do that other color, it's more bold, and you can really, it doesn't mash together as much, and that'd be fine for like that spot color. But like Tanner's shirt, there's like shading and stuff like that
Right.
would be good wet. That'd be good wet because you want
Okay.
it gives it that painted. It's like painted. You want to do wet on wet. Yeah.
Okay.
It's little screen printing.
I like
Yeah.
I like that this is a different kind of topic than just talking about
Well,
music. It's talking about like some other
You're familiar with, and you're somewhat familiar with it too,
Well,
right?
just because of school. My wet was I had to wait till the next freaking day or two to try to do another color. If
Damn,
that's what
that's
I was
tough.
doing. But listen, this is like fucking 80s and stuff before you guys were
Yeah.
even born. But so does that? So from the music part to doing the shirts, do you when you walk and look at shirts and stuff? Do you focus on certain things and go, yeah,
as
that's
soon as I got here, as soon as like every day, everywhere I go, I'm like looking at shirts. I'm like,
that's no good.
well, not necessarily that,
or
but like maybe I try to look at like what kind of technique did they do on that
Gotcha.
one, or like the sizing. Because one thing for me is that I never know how big to do a shirt. Because some people love like blowing up,
logo.
and some people love like just very small, minimal. So I'm always that's one thing I do pay attention to. It's like what looks good, or like should the logo been bigger, smaller, or should the this part of the design been bigger, or I always try to analyze.
And do you make recommendations? Or how many times did you wanted to do the Madras logo bigger on the top?
Yeah, but nobody would do it. Like
So-
they didn't know how to do it or whatever. So I don't know how the stuff works. So
But do you, when you see something, do you say, this would look much better if it were larger, or listen to you? when
Not
you-
so much. If they ask me, I'll give them my
Yeah.
my honest opinion.
Yeah.
And there have been maybe a few times, mainly with like something, for example, like for a baseball tee, I may make a recommendation because the sleeves cut. So some bands, they want it big, and I'm like, look, dude, if I make it big, I'm gonna have to print it low because the sleeves are coming up, so it's gonna go over the print.
True.
So I try to that's when I'll kind of intervene and be like, no, I wouldn't do it this way.
And if you didn't do that, people wouldn't realize it until after they placed the order, which could complicate other things.
Yeah,
Right?
and that's like the last thing I want.
Sure.
There's been plenty of times too where I've done a print and it hasn't worked out, and I've just completely refunded people, even if I lost money on the film or the screens, whatever, just because I don't want to have that either. I hate that, like someone gets a product or something, especially with with t-shirts, it adds up. It's pricey. I know it's not cheap. I know a lot of bands save up for it. So like I said, I want to do a good job. I want them to feel like they got their money's worth. And then for the shirt sells, then they come back faster, come back quicker.
Well, even getting like a good quality type of t-shirt helps,
Yeah, that does too. And it does help the printing to a degree. I mean, it's not the most drastic thing, but some shirts, the ink does lay on a little better than others.
Like, I think with us, we only like to go Gildan because that's...
Well, that's like, like I have a lot of Gildan shirts too.
What
like
I'm saying, like, what is it? We do the heavy Gildan or whatever?
Yeah, when we first started, I said, if somebody's going to get a shirt, I want them to get like a shirt that's like not necessarily thick, but not thin.
Yeah.
So you want them to want to wear that shirt,
multiple times in a
yeah, not like paper shirt.
Sure.
Yeah.
Paper thin.
I used to buy paper shirts going to concerts afterwards, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, an Iron Maiden shirt's only $10, and so
Oh,
well,
yeah.
good luck. You're going to wear it once.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
gonna come apart.
then it's done.
Yeah, I've had those too.
Do clients typically ask for better quality t-shirts, or do they just not even give a shit?
Some of them, I think. I mean, for bands, they usually just want the Gildan, because I kind of feel like most metal dudes don't care, and they like the thicker, like you said. They don't like the thin. But I have been getting more bands, like kind of just being like, I think for this run we want something a little nicer, after a while, here and there, But it does cost more. It just all depends on your budget.
Well, what is it they always say? You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And it's not like, what I always appreciated about you was the communication as well. Like anytime I had an issue or a question, I would run it over by you, and you would get back to me within within the same day. And it would be.
Well, that's something I got from being in the band.
Well,
because when I did a lot of the business end, and a lot of the people that I worked with, they would tell me, you have to reply to me within 24 hours. Like, if you want to, work with me, you have to reply to me within 24 hours. And I just took that with me. I'm like, I do business with people, I reply to them within 24 hours.
Because I've worked with people, and I'm sure Dad's worked with people, and you've worked with people.
Oh, yeah.
Not just doing, t-shirts and whatnot. I'm talking business in general.
Yeah.
Where it takes them a couple days to get back to you.
Oh yeah, and I understand things happen
Sure.
too. Maybe they overlook it. I know sometimes you're
when the spam
email,
folder or this.
Yeah,
that,
there's just so many emails. Maybe they just overlook it. I get that too. But I do try to follow, like you said, try to have that consistent reply within a timely manner.
And that's what I always appreciated going to or through you to print our t-shirts. Now, where can people find? How can people get a hold of you to work with you on t-shirts? Because I always recommend you to any band that asks where to get t-shirts made. I always try and turn them towards your way and whatnot. So
I guess just Instagram, really. To be honest, I try to stay low radar, only because I don't think I have the capacity to just crank out. If I were to really put myself out there, I might start getting like random people that just want random stuff. And I like just working with the bands. I really like just working with people I know. It's a lot easier to communicate. I do get random people that just come across like my page randomly, or they just
got recommended from another band.
Yeah, and it's sometimes it's not even bands, but I noticed those are just, they can be a little more complicated for whatever reason. The bands are just a lot more, maybe because I was in a band, I already know what they want. In my head, I kind of anticipate their concerns. And I don't know. I guess so. Instagram is the best way.
And it's Without Death merch still, right?
Yes.
It's not. You haven't changed.
No.
The name. Or...
I am going to be starting another thing called Strive Printing, because
And what is that? How is that different?
It's literally the same. It's the same thing, except I noticed that like I was doing a nursing home, and I thought, it's kind of weird, like Without Death merch,
Yeah.
And it's like,
good choice.
Yeah, it's like,
right?
it's, I mean, I don't know. I feel like for bands, they don't care. I could be, Hail Satan Printing, and they'd be like, cool, right on.
Right.
But for a lot of other people, it may not
not
drive well. Yeah, exactly. So like I said, even don't really push to get different clients. Even now I am getting like some breweries. I'm getting like other things that are not necessarily metal.
Right.
That's so I am starting like another thing. It's like I said, it's going to be the same service. It's just a different name.
Maybe different clientele.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It would be just different clients and just a different appeal. So with that, I am trying to get into sticker printing and all that other stuff. So but it'll be included in both. both companies or whatever.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like
That's
it.
awesome.
Well, lastly, before we let you go, thanks again for giving us a
Oh,
couple
no
minutes of your
problem.
time to do this with us. We always appreciate having you on and your company and the good work that you do for all of us.
Oh,
But,
thanks.
what are you looking forward to most here so far? Or have you noticed something different at this year's San Diego Metal Swami that you haven't in the past, or anything different this year?
No, not really. Actually, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's.
I feel there's a different atmosphere. There's a more of an appreciation for people
Okay.
this year
Well,
as compared to
I think maybe because we've been so distant that now that we actually, because the last SD they had was 18 or 19.
19,
19.
yeah, 18, 19. I think 19, right?
I think so.
Is it
Yeah.
19? Yeah. So
But there's just a more community here that I kind of haven't maybe noticed in the past. So
you know what? I have noticed a lot of people from previous years. So maybe it is that like growing community of, hey, I saw you last year. I saw your booth. Like,
yeah, it's like we're all friends. It's like a total.
no, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Mario.
Hey, thank
really
you, man.
appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks.
And
Yeah.
make sure to look for him. Without Death merch is the
Without
name
Death
of your t-shirt making company.
Yeah.
And we look forward to speaking with you hopefully in the near future and what you got coming up. So thanks so much
Definitely,
again.
man.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks again.